With a continuing fallout over Senator Joni Ernst's comments on Medicaid and SNAP cuts during a Butler County town hall on Friday and a mocking apology on Saturday. Iowa's News Now reporter Faven Zodu is live in studio tonight with new reaction.
Mitch, Senator Ernst's comments brought strong reactions from a nurse at the Iowa Veteran Affairs. He shares that he has 2 children that receive assistance from Medicaid and called her words offensive.
Angry doesn't begin to describe what I feel about it.
Patrick Kearns is a father of 2 adults on Medicaid, and he says the comments from Senator Ernst felt like an attack on his kids.
She was saying to me, she doesn't care if my kids die. You know, that's how I heard that, and I think that's how a lot of Iowans hear it. That it's not that we'll all die, it's just that nobody that she cares about is going to die because of it. And I think that was very telling.
According to Senator Ernst, she was responding to a question about Medicaid when someone made a comment from the audience shouting "people will die" during her town hall on Friday in Parkersburg.
We all are going to die.
After receiving backlash from that comment, the senator posted this sarcastic apology.
I made an incorrect assumption that everyone in the auditorium understood that, yes, we are all going to perish from this earth. So I apologize. And I'm really, really glad that I did not have to bring up the subject of the tooth fairy as well.
Andrea Dukas is the Vice President of Health Policy at Center of American Progress. She says the proposed changes for Medicaid will result in an increase of avoidable deaths.
When she says something like, people, well, we're all going to die anyway. Sure, that's true. Everybody's going to die. But that's not the point. The point is this bill is going to result in people dying sooner and dying avoidable deaths.
According to a study she conducted, the increased paperwork would result in about 270 deaths just in the state of Iowa. The Congressional Budget Office estimates at least 7.5 million Americans will lose Medicaid coverage over the next decade if the bill is passed.
Just for one part of the bill, the paperwork requirements that Medicaid enrollees without kids and without a disability qualification would lose coverage and die unnecessarily just in Iowa, right? And that number is 275 people a year would die avoidable deaths in the state of Iowa. So when she says oh, that's ridiculous, or oh, that's not true, I don't know what she's going to say to the 275 people's families, right?
Kearns has 30 years of nursing experience, and he says these proposed changes will create issues long term.
When people have chronic illnesses or they have disabilities and they don't have access to health care, instead of just having diabetes that could be managed early in the disease, people end up going into a coma because their blood sugar is too high, and that's how they end up accessing the healthcare system. That's a life-threatening situation. Or, they come in and they've already got very advanced disease.
He says the proposed changes will have negative implications.
Any of that loss on the front end is going to lead to deaths and disabilities on the back end. And I think that is where we're going, unfortunately.
In a statement to Iowa's News Now, a spokesperson for Senator Ernst says that while Democrats fearmonger against strengthening the integrity of Medicaid, Senator Ernst is focused on improving the lives of all Iowans. There's only 2 certainties in life, death and taxes, and she's working to ease the burden of both by fighting to keep more Iowans' hard-earned tax dollars in their own pockets and ensuring their benefits are protected from waste, fraud, and abuse. Aside from that video on her Instagram story on Saturday, Ernst hasn't made an actual social media post since just after Friday's town hall.